Bermuda has this capacity and this capital for taking on the biggest risks, the world's biggest risks, if you will. But I'm also seeing, and we're reading now that Bermuda is taking some of that capital. We hold that capital as insurers for a long time and invest in things. In total, here in the United States, we're close to $7 trillion of assets under management in the industry. What can you tell me about Bermuda? It seems there's a trend of making investments in infrastructure and what that means.
Well, all of this discussion about infrastructure is actually great news for our industry because we're so active in the infrastructure space, and whether it's as basic as a surety bond on getting a project completed or the workers' compensation to make sure workers are protected on the job during the construction project, or the end result, providing property and liability coverage for a project once it's completed. Insurance is vitally important for any type of infrastructure project. But to your point or your question about the infrastructure investment, insurers are also very large investors. And the model of taking premium and then having that premium on hold until a claim is produced, that holding space, there has to be a place to put that money where there's a reasonable return. Much of it is put in very liquid funds like U.S. Treasuries because we have to always be ready for that Cat 5 hurricane. But as people have a book of business, as insurers have a book of business that may allow for longer returns, there may be a role for infrastructure investment there. So very proud that the Bermuda Monetary Authority is taking a leadership role at the International Association of Insurance Supervisors and leading the international discussion of what should the capital charges be on these infrastructure projects. And so how much capital should insurers put up for the investments in those projects? So it's a very worthwhile discussion. It could be very meaningful to leverage the power of the insurance industry, and Triple-I has always done such a good job of explaining that concept to the public of really where insurers can make yet another contribution to communities.
Yeah, and we like to say too, I mean, if we're going to invest trillions in infrastructure, let's also go back to what you and I talked about earlier in terms of making them resilient. You know, we have an opportunity here to make these communities more resilient for again, the changes that we're seeing.